where we've got to with this client now is they've produced some architecture impact documents. It's going okay. CTO is now leaning on them saying, right, come on, I want more stuff per project, and I want to see progress towards delivering my stuff, my kind of funky insight, what the heck do I do next stuff. So it's time to get big. Just notice this. When you do a little PowerPoint scale up like that, you lose focus. Now, there's a thought, isn't it? As you scale up, you lose focus. No, just a thought for the day. So this is where we got to at the, probably this is 6 months after I first talked to these guys. So I went back and said, it's going fine. We're delivering stuff. The business are now beginning to get the idea of what we're talking about, this model thing. People are starting to show an interest. Right, we have a bunch of new groups who think that they want to put their stuff into Enterprise Architect. And this is not uncommon, by the way. You go from zero to hero, and suddenly everybody wants to put their stuff in Enterprise Architect, and you're going, whoa, just a minute. There's a finite amount of resource and talent here to help you to do this. We can't do all these things. So their highlights were these three. They were a financial institution, so the risk management was a big thing. So they had a whole, what they called their risk management framework, which was a whole load of ideas that modeled ideas of financial risk. So very, very specialist. So nothing to do with the risk management stuff you see in EA, a very, very specialist industry specific things. Processes, BPMN, dead easy. Requirements management, we all understand. So we sit down with them, as we do, and we say, what do you need to deliver from each of those? So now the team are getting the hang of this. They're getting used to the idea of, okay, risk management, what do you mean? Risk management guy said, it's documents. There are some, they were kind of not legal, they were kind of industry, government compliance documents. It says you must produce a risk management document according to this standard, and it must look like this. Okay, understood. Process mapping, they said, well, all our processes are on the intranet because it's easier to ignore them if they're on the intranet than it is to ignore them if they're in a document. Because that's what people do with processors. They just ignore them. Requirements management, again, old-fashioned. We need a requirements management document, please. Okay, so that's what you said you wanted. How are we going to actually engage with you guys to figure out what risk management process and requirements are all about? How do we interact with you before we produce those deliverables? Because those two different ways of doing it may not be the way we actually want to interact with you to make something happen. How can I get you, the process people, to understand what we're modeling and contribute to it in order that we produce the deliverables? So that's why I'm differentiating between the deliver bit, which is here's the thing you wanted, and the bit that went before that in time that said, how do I interact with you to produce that knowledge? So now we're going to look at this whole kind of engage stage. So it's delivering that business value by engaging your organization. And this is about them, not about you. This is about you taking your clever knowledge that you need and that you've already developed and reaching out to them, not teaching them how to read Archimate, which may not work so well. So here we go. We've got some Archimate diagrams. Nobody understands what it means. How do we move forward and engage with them? So these are some of the things that I think are items on our agenda here. I want it to be immediate. I don't really want to have to, every single time I draw a diagram, to have to then move it into Visio, change all the little boxes and lines to look like little Visio bits of clip art, and then show it to the user population. That's not great. Well, however I engage with them, they have to find it easy to understand. And I'm prepared to do a little bit of training maybe for them, but it may have to be simplified. So I may have a great idea of how I'd like to do the modeling, but I may have to simplify it in order to get them to engage. An example of this I know from teaching BPMN process modeling to people is BPMN is a huge language. It's got all kinds of crazy stuff because it's a superset of every process you might ever want to think about. But for an individual organization, I pick a subset about 20% of the size of the language. So I only allow, I think, 7 different kinds of event out of a possible 120. So keep it easy to understand and they've got a chance. Process modeling, strangely, is one of those easiest ones because BPMN has flowcharts and process modelers want flowcharts, so it's pretty easy. Architecture, pretty hard, pretty difficult. Most important, probably, though, is I want to make it easy to collaborate and to contribute. So I want it to be easy for people to say, you've done that wrong. I'll just change that for you. So you want that collaboration to work. And I want to see what other people see what other people have done. So because people's expectations here, I think, are sky high because they've got all the social media tools that let them like and comment and post their own ideas and stuff. And well, that's the world we need to be in, even if they're not EA users. So let's just go through some of these engagement techniques and see which ones we should be using and where. And then at the end of that, we'll look at how my team here actually went about it.